As you guys know, we're going around the world, taking token metrics, our message, and trying to evangelize crypto all around the world, meeting all the people behind the screen that I've been talking to via my YouTube videos, via my Telegram channel and social media channel. And just first of all, saying thank you for all the support. Thank you for everything you guys have done. I would not be anywhere where I am without you guys. So being able to just meet you guys in person and say thank you, and just being able to share your stories, hear your stories, and just exchange ideas and information, right? And one of the good things about that meetup was, this was the first truly multilingual meetup. We had so many people speaking English and Spanish. We had my friend Josh, part of Crypto Family, communicating in Spanish, then have Josh translate to me in English, and going back and forth. This was the first meetup where we truly had an international language and community and translation, and just being able to really cross culture and language barriers. Being able to just meet the people there, meet Manticore Capital, Ivan, being able to hang out with them, being able to hang out with Daniel as well, him and his crew. Man, great times.
Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the turnout, and our first time here in Colombia, first time in Medellin. But yeah, guys, thank you all for being here. This is pretty much began as a meetup. As the events got bigger and bigger, the space got bigger and bigger, it got more professional. Now we're turning this into a talk, but we're trying to do this totally different from every other kind of crypto talk, right? We're trying to make this fun, trying to make this engaging, trying to make this hip. Let's play a game. Who traveled the furthest to get here to this event? Amsterdam. Really? Wow, wow, wow. Now you guys must have been here for some other reasons. Business? What brings you here?
I work in Medellin.
Live in
So
Medellin.
actually I didn't travel today to come all the way here for this.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
From Munich.
Munich, all right, very nice, very nice.
I was at Blockchain Unbound in Puerto Rico, and I've been wanting to come to Medellin, so I just popped up and saw you were going to be here, so I'm here.
All right, perfect, perfect timing. We'll give you a high five for that. For those who are brand new here, right, we're doing a crypto world tour. So we're doing this all around the world. We spent 2 months in Asia. We went to Seoul, Korea, Singapore, Thailand. We had like 4 meetups in Thailand, I think, 3 or 4. Sydney, Melbourne, Auckland, New Zealand, right? LA, Miami, DC. We've done it in New York. Now we're doing it here in Medellin, Colombia. And then next stop is Buenos Aires, Argentina. And then from there, we're doing the Europe World Tour. So we're taking cryptocurrency around the world and just trying to take this entire message of token metrics and using data and analytics to invest in ICOs, because this changed my life. It's changed lots of people's lives I know in my community, in my Patreon, in my audience, right? So hopefully we can really get this out there. I saw a gap in the market last year when I got into this space. Most people who were talking about cryptocurrencies and investing were either anonymous or not sharing much about themselves and what they're actually doing, right? So I came as a guy who worked at 4 years in IBM, 1 year as a sales executive covering North America for open source analytics, 3 years as a Watson Analytics sales engineer, right? Worked as an IT consultant in Deloitte. And when I see people talking about cryptos and I can't see their face, I don't know their first and last name, and they're telling you to buy X, Y, and Z, right? To me, it was not very credible, right? I was a former entrepreneur, had done multiple businesses, had a nice career and everything, had lots of disposable income, right? And there wasn't really anybody out there who was speaking to me, right? So I was like, you know what, let me just document the process. So now we can go to the AMA and questions.
You don't have an open syndicate.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately.
My question is why not? Because as an example, we have been working in that difficult, getting in many syndicates reliable that we know.
Yeah.
And we are getting in the projects. Why not through you that you are a trustworthy man and a public?
Yeah, I mean, so I get this question a lot, right? Can somebody join my syndicate? My syndicate is oversubscribed, so I can't bring in everybody, unfortunately. As the market blew up, the issue became we had too much money to invest, right? We had to actually start imposing individual caps in our syndicate, right? Because everybody wanted to go all the way to invest everything into all the big projects. Right? And I have a very global audience, as you guys can see. And unfortunately, I can't take all of you into my syndicate as much as I love it.
We can reach the founders of the projects in the pre-sales phase, but we have the problem that we are not you. I mean, we don't have the streaming or
so
the...
becoming a strategic partner, you're
Yeah,
saying.
so So they place us a cap of $1 million, and we are not in that stage to collect that kind of money where we are
Yeah.
located, and we are not public.
Yeah, I mean, so it is a hard thing to do, right? Being able to raise a lot of money, right? So let's say minimum investment is $1 million, right? How do you meet that? I mean, how big is your syndicate? That's the first thing I would ask. Yeah, like how many people?
It depends. From ICOs, we can raise from 100K to
No, I'm saying like how many investors?
30 persons.
30 people? I mean, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. I mean, I know we've had some investments where we had over 100 investors in that pool for that ICO. I mean, it came to a point where it was just word of mouth, right? Whatever we had to do to meet it, we're just recruit investors, right? Whoever had other investor friends in crypto, they'll tell them about the project. If they liked it, right, tell them the terms and everything and get them into it, right? So, I mean, typically, yeah, I mean, it's come to a point where we've built up a large network worldwide where we can get investors to raise any minimum investment amount. Right, so I would say that's something you should also do. Anybody can do that, not just me, because that's more private network, right? So just, like I said, go to conferences, meet those people, right? And just build the private network, build that Rolodex, right? Sometimes you can even just have funds invest with you, right? If you find a really good project, they'll want to co-invest with you. And also go to conferences, right? Conferences is one of the, especially crypto conferences, is basically you're paying for access to people who are committed and smart and have this goal in crypto, right? So I would say the first syndicate we formed was from other investors we met at Token Summit. Just meeting them, going out with them for drinks and dinner, talking crypto, right? You can see them face to face, right? And just kind of building that trust relationship. Who has used PrimaBlock, right? So that came out of necessity as well. Right, so basically, yeah, primablock.com is a smart contract for pooling, right? So, actually, by the way, guys, they're exploring doing an ICO. So there's one more gem you guys get here, right? But anyway, so PrimaBlock was something we created out of need as well, right? So basically, just whatever problem you have, try to solve it, right? And one of the best ways of doing that is by meeting people, connecting with them, creating a group, and building trust. And then just taking a leap of faith. So, I mean, there's so many different things to do, but I feel like an airdrop for me is the best way to do that. In a way, it is the community token, right? So for those who kind of, in a way, want to invest with me without investing in what I'm investing in, it's kind of like the community token will be that, I think. Okay, all right. Question here?
For like someone like me that I've never invested in anything like this, what would you recommend? Like, where would you start? What broker would you use? All that stuff.
Just go to YouTube, or just go to my page and just put in, yes, Ian Balina, how to invest in ICOs. It's a 1 hour long video, and it walks you through all those. Yeah. I think 95% of the projects will fail in this space, right? I mean, kind of like the .com era, right?
Yeah.
You had very few survivors. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make money before they fail, right? But I feel like 95% of them will fail. And right now, at least for me, it's just a matter of, I mean, as much as I would like to think I'm smart, I can't predict what's going to fail, what's not going to do well, right? So I like to diversify by investing in many different projects in the same field. For example, I really like the high-speed blockchain use case, right? Because blockchain and transaction speeds per second is something that has to be solved for large dApps to start running on blockchain. That's why I like our chain. Zilliqa I like as well. I'm eyeing it for an entry. I'm not yet into that project, but I feel one of those two is going to do well. Then there are also other new blockchains coming out, like Thunder Token is one I like a lot. Actually, I mean, right now I like the team. I'm waiting to get more on the token metrics, right? But that's also a high-speed blockchain, I believe. Right? So that's a use case where there's so many people trying to solve that. One of them is going to win, right? If I'm in all of them, it won't matter which one.
Some investors don't really look into the projects, but just invest because it's cryptocurrency, you know?
So you're saying they're going up and down at the same time?
Yeah,
kind of
no,
like a wide industry
sometimes
effect?
when there's a crash, that like the coins recover in the same percentages sometimes. I'm also surprised
I
that
don't.
some people
I would
still
say
not.
most do, but the good ones bounce back even harder.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've seen almost during every dip, right? The good ones don't decline as much, right? Then when they bounce back even more, right? Like for example, POA, Zilliqa, Buzel, when they dip, they don't dip as much as all the other crap coins like Air Token, Pro-P or whatever, right? They hold their value a lot more. I mean, sure, they also decrease with the market as a industry-wide effect, but they decrease even less, right? If the average project is going down 10, 15%, they may only go down 5%. And the bounce back will be even higher, right? Because people see the value in those projects, especially infrastructure projects, right? They always hold their value a lot more over dApps and other kinds of projects.
There also are some scammy projects like BitConnect was, and maybe like some people say that Tether is. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, I've never trusted Tether from day one.
Yeah. So
That's why I don't go to Tether. I'll tell you why. I was going through the white paper and I saw that they're supposed to be backed to US dollar, but the backing them is in Hong Kong. And as an American, I said, that doesn't seem right to me. All right, if they go bankrupt, I want to be able to sue them in America. Right, so I never touched Tether because of that.
I'm in college, and I wanna ask you, how's the minimum amount of money I can invest right now in a ICO?
Right, when I got into the space, initially I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I was still skeptical. Right, so I was only willing to invest what I personally was willing to lose, and at that point in time, I was only $100. Right, so I put $100 into Bitcoin, $100 into Ether. Didn't look at it for a month, came back, it was up 25%. I'm like, okay, I kind of believe some more. Right now, I'm willing to lose $250. Right, I put in $250 in Bitcoin and Ether, came back after like 2 months. Bitcoin was up like 10% or whatever. Ether was kind of like stable. I'm like, okay, I now believe even more. And during the entire 2 months, I was doing homework on this space. I was reading books on cryptocurrency. Right, read the book Digital Gold, read the book Age of Cryptocurrency. Right, and now I really believed. So now I was willing to lose even more money. All right, so I put in $2,500 in both Bitcoin and Ether. Right, and Ether went from like $10 to $25. Then I was like, okay, you know what? I can make some good money on this. And now I'm willing to lose even more money. Right, so like 2 months later, put in like 5 and 10 grand. Right, so I worked my way up from $100 to now where my largest personal investment has been almost $200,000. Right, but so that's kind of what I can share with you, right? I began by just investing what I was willing to lose.
First of all, I wanted to thank you so much for being here and to come to Latin America. That's pretty special for us because I think we're kind of like left behind in the space. How do we know that there's a real prototype? Because there's many ICOs that are saying that there's a prototype, but
that's
they don't.
One of the issues. As token metrics become more and more widespread, ICOs now try to game the system. Right, so I do see lots of ICOs trying to pass off any kind of code as an alpha, right? But I would say if you're going to invest in anything, especially if you're investing via a syndicate or via a pre-sale or a private sale with a large amount of capital, or is asked to have a video call with the team, if possible, right? And or is grill them on seeing a demo of the product, right? And I know not everybody can do that. That's why I also like to do that on my channel, and also have the founder AMAs, where we bring them onto the channel and just grill them with questions, right, to really see that.
So how do you know what's the right market cap after it goes to exchanges to see if you're going to invest in that? How do you measure that?
Anything ICO price or below is good for me. I mean, so wait for the rebound just means that ICO, in my opinion, had a bonus that was too large. To a point, I think there'll be lots of selling pressure that will cause it to go somewhere around ICO price or maybe even lower. Right? So for example, VideoCoin is one example. Great project, all-star team with a product, amazing team. But they messed up in the sense that they give early investors, rumor is 100% bonus with no lockup. Meaning as soon as those tokens hit the exchange, they're up 100%. If it opens up at 3-4x, whatever, they're up even more, right? So they're heavily incentivized to take profit, as any smart investor would do, especially in this market. Okay. Right? So I feel like in a way there'll be selling pressure, or basically gravity forcing it down not letting it go to the moon anytime soon. Right? So I feel like there'll be time for me to basically time it and see if it goes below ICO price.
How do you know what's the right market cap? Because I've seen you say,
Oh, for an ICO?
No, after it comes out, that you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait for this to come to this kind of like below this market cap or below this price.
Let me give you an example, right? So I knew Dragon Chain was gonna do well, like even just pushing token metrics aside, because if you looked at the market at that time when it was coming out, the average market valuation for a smart contract blockchain platform with a mainnet was over $1 billion. Right? So I knew that with Dragon Chain only raising $15 million and opening with a $15 million market cap, worst case it was going to $500 million. But on average, it was going to $1 billion because the market on average was pricing other similar smart contract blockchain platforms at that valuation.
So you compare to the competition, right?
Yeah, so the competition, for example, right? So for example, I'm looking at Bluezell, for example, right? Bluezell right now has a cap of, I think, like 50 million or so. Right? I would compare it to StorageA, to Siacoin, to MadeSafe, and see where the market is valuing storage platforms at, and seeing where it's at. And I think Bluezell is better than most of them, right? So that's why I think Bluezell, long term, could get a $2 billion cap easily, right? So yes, I do look at the competition, see where the market is pricing them at, and seeing what is the chances. For example, if a competition has an alpha, a testnet, a beta, I see what the market prices that at. And I see, okay, if this goes to that stage, it's probably going to be somewhere around that range, possibly.
Should I do my own development of the coin, of the token? Or
contract it out?
Or can I use a third party, for example, Kikiko, to launch the...
Can you use a third party?
CEO?
I mean, it would depend on the product. I think it's always better if your team does it, in my opinion. Right? If the core team does it. I mean, if you have developers in-house, I think it's better that way. I mean, but there are projects that have used third-party developers, right? Basically outsourcing it to build it, right? So I mean, I've seen both done. I mean, so it is possible to do both. But I think if you're going to be working on the company full-time, it's better to have full-time employees that can do that kind of capability, especially something technical.
How long is a proper amount of time to hold the tokens?
How long is it good to hold a token for?
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on your investment strategy. But for me personally, I'm always looking not to lose money. That's the first criteria on every investment. So I always take out my initial investment after 3x. But actually, I may even modify this to just first week, taking out initial no matter what. Right? But I mean, ideally, right? For example, if you invest in something at 10 cents, right, and it goes to 3 cents, that's a 3x on that money, right? So if you put in, let's say, $1,000, it goes to $3,000, right? That has multiplied by 3. Take out the 1,000, you have 2,000 left, and you flip that 1,000 into a new investment. Right? That's my strategy, right? For the most part, it's been 3x, but I think I may change it to even lower, to maybe 2x, right? Depending on the market, I guess I should say, right? Maybe during a bullish market, 3x, during a bearish market, 2x.
Maybe you work with trading or just make ICOs?
Mainly ICOs. I don't trade much. I like ICOs because for me, it's better for me. I swing trade here and there, but not much. Right, so I'm not the expert for that. I would definitely recommend other people out there. Good friend of mine, Luke Martin, is a great crypto trader. He has a YouTube channel where he goes through and charts Bitcoin, Ether, and altcoins. Right, so I'll definitely check him out. Right, I'll check out other people. Miho Bradica is an up-and-comer crypto trader. Right, he's part of our crew. He's actually I think he was a crypto trader. He now does ICOs. But I mean, trading can be good, but to me, it's not something I would look into personally, right? But there are other people who do that. Actually, check out Felix Hartman. He's pretty good too. Felix Hartman, right? He's a trader as well. He trades Bitcoin a lot.
Do you consider that coin that goes below market cap from the ICO, is it a bad sign or a good sign to invest, or is it you don't care about that?
So if a project goes below ICO price?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I'm starting to notice a pattern. I think any ICO that comes out, if after a week it's still below ICO price, it never does well. It's almost like dead on arrival. I mean, not the case for everything, but I'm starting to see a really good pattern with that. I mean, well, more than 50%, probably more than 75%. If no more questions, we can end the session here. If any of you guys want to take pictures, yeah, we'll have a picture session next, right? You guys can you can line up over here. We can take pictures, all right, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for coming here. So we just wrapped up the Medellin Crypto World Tour. I think we have to stop calling it a meetup, call it a conference.
Oh, it was good. It was a good turnout. A lot of people came out. Good questions.
It's amazing how big the crypto community is here in Colombia. Even I'm learning things that I didn't know. So yeah, I think it was a success.
I have a great team in Ecuador. Is working a lot with cryptocurrencies. They love you. Multilingual.
Great turnout. Now we're about to go grab dinner and drinks with the whole crew. All right, time to forget the market. We'll see you on the moon. What's up, Ecuador?
He's a celebrity, blowing up, even all the way in Medellin.
All right, so we came here, and my friends Hugo and Mike ended up booking the former Pablo Escobar penthouse. I think we could film part of the music video today.
Six-figure slave.